Sometimes fate is like a small sandstorm that keeps changing directions. You change direction, but the sandstorm chases you. You turn again, but the storm adjusts. Over and over you play this out, like some ominous dance with death, just before dawn. Why? Because this storm isn't something that blew in from far away, something that has nothing to do with you. This storm is you. This quote is one of the very first opening paragraphs of one of Murakami's bestsellers, Kafka on the Shore, and it is just a glimpse into the well-painted prose of Murakami. Kafka on the Shore is full of similar soul-burning passages that force the reader to step back for a second to fully comprehend the magic behind Murakami's writing. This is partially a reason as to why I hold the book with such high regard. Throughout the novel there are two parallel storylines, one featuring Kafka and the other focusing on Nakata, the tracker of lost cats. Nakata, whose intelligence was disposed of after collapsing at the enigmatic Rice Bowl Hill incident, is an old man who can no longer read nor talk properly. Nakata speaks in third person and is often alienated by society due to his inability to communicate and understand everyday familiar concepts. Alongside his loss of intelligence, perhaps Nakata doesn't simply perceive himself as an individual. Preferring to talk about himself in third person seems to link to his incapability to differentiate between himself and others. He simply exists alongside them. He doesn't understand the divide between those who are well off and those who are poor. Money, like his identity, is an abstract concept to him. Only amounts up to $50 also had any meaning to him. Anything above that, $1,000, $10,000, was all the same to him. A lot of money. That's all it meant. Murakami seems to use Nakata as a vessel to explore concepts of money and wealth, to explore that they were never important in the first place. Nakata lives a content and simple life, making money finding lost cats. He has no concept of time, meaning he is never impatient. He simply exists. Issues such as time and money have no restraint on his happiness. These logical, well-ingrained concepts seem useful until they're not. Likewise, logic seems to collapse in all aspects of the book. Why can't Nakata talk to cats?
A Cheshire cat.
Why can't fish fall from the sky? And why does Nakata need to know what he's looking for? As long as he's searching, isn't that enough? Murakami scratches at our imagination and tries to prompt our thoughts further than the two-dimensional world we live in. He begs us to look from a different perspective and use our imagination more. Kafka is a 15-year-old boy running away from an untold prophecy, a rucksack and an internal monologue by the title of The Boy Named Crow, as his only defence against the cold, cruel world. A 50-plus Murakami molds a strongly believable 15-year-old, to an extent. Murakami seems to dig deep into the realms of his creativity to weave a character that readers can either align with or self-reflect upon, sending the reader back to the whimsical age of 15, an age riddled with uncertainties, pressure, and the fear of growing up. Murakami employs The Boy Named Crow as a sort of defence mechanism for Kafka's struggles, that fends off vulnerability with a cast of confidence and mental strength. Despite Crow being a strong stayfold, Crow is not strong enough to deter all of Kafka's struggles. He still encounters problems with emotions, difficulty with understanding his identity, and avidly forms complex relationships. Albeit his courage and resilience are admirable, yet it is his flaws that make him relatable. Murakami's storytelling has often been defined as magical realism. Murakami breaks the barriers between reality and fiction, yet blends the two so well that as a reader the prose devours your imagination, to the extent that you can't quite recall what was magical and what was real. Murakami gently sews life lessons into the symbolism he uses, without pushing it in your face, without slandering your lifestyle. In fact, he seems to honour the mundane, and through blurring the boundaries between realism and surrealism, he enlightens the mundane, recognising its magical qualities. The book comes to a close with an open ending. We're not quite sure what has become of the titular character. Kafka attempts to understand his journey, as does the reader. But why do we need to understand? Looking towards the night sky, Kafka's problems seem to become eclipsed by the world's gaze. With the ending being open for interpretation, the reader is allowed to find meaning within themselves, what they think it means. After all, the storm was never something that blew in from far away. The storm is you.